In my last video, I covered the first three of the top 9 misconceptions about college admissions. And in this video, I'm going to cover the next three. So stay tuned. Today in this video, I want to cover the next three of the top 9 misconceptions about college admissions. And if you didn't watch my previous video, please watch that and you'll get the first three. These are the next three. So the first one for today is that taking a few AP classes should be enough. Okay, so I've had a lot of students and parents who thought that, well, I took 5 AP classes in my high school career. In my 4 years of high school, I took 4 AP classes or some number like that. No, that's not a walk in the park. If you take 5 AP classes, that's a lot. That's nothing to sneeze at. However, when you're competing against kids who have taken 10, 11, 12 AP classes in their 4 years of high school and they're applying to the same college as you are, then it doesn't seem like that's a lot, right? So it's all about how you compare to the kids who are graduating with you. It's not, now you may have worked very hard, you may have been very consistent, you're a very hard worker, but again, whether you think you like this or not, or whether you think this is fair or not, it's just reality, and that is that you will be compared to the students that you are graduating with from your school when you apply to colleges. So especially the higher ranked, more elite schools, they will be looking at academic rigor. And academic rigor is how much did you challenge yourself? Did you take all regular classes, all honors classes, or did you take like 10 AP classes? Many of your classmates or many of the students who are applying to that college, if they've taken 12, 11 APs and you've taken 4, you're not going to be very competitive. Whether you think that's right or wrong or fair, that's just the way it is. That's reality. So that's the first point today. The second point today, and the second misconception I want to cover today, is that internships and jobs are important to put on your application. You don't know how many students and parents over the years have said to me, my kid is going to get a part-time job, or they're going to join, participate in an internship or so forth. Those are not that impressive. I say, well, unless you really, really have to have a job. And in those cases, there are exceptional cases where, for example, the family is very, very poor, very low income, and the kid is working 20 hours, 30 hours a week and really helping the parents trying to make ends meet. That's a different situation. And that is certainly something that is impressive. But most of the time, most of my students are not in that situation. They just want a part-time job to make a little bit of spending money. And they think that putting another line on the application for their activity is going to look good, or they're going to do some kind of an internship and they think that's going to look good. They're going to go work in their dad's company for 2 weeks or 2 months even, and they think that's going to look good. Well, that's not that impressive, okay? What's more impressive is things that you can do to impact your community, to make a positive impact in your community, whether that's tutoring underprivileged kids in low-income areas, or whatever it might be, participating in some kind of activism, something to bring awareness to some minority group, or and when I say minority, I'm not talking necessarily about ethnic background. Okay, it could be any underrepresented group of people, or people whose rights are not being well represented in the public square. And so, whatever that thing is, the more that you can do of that kind of thing, that's actually more impressive. The more leadership activities you can get involved in, that's more impressive. And in fact, even if it's not those kind of things, whatever it is, maybe it's just robotics, you're passionate about robotics, then just keep doing things that are robotics related, rather than trying to get a job or an internship and thinking that that's going to impress colleges. They usually don't. Okay, and the third and last one I want to cover today is that a great college essay will make up for poor GPA and SATs, okay? They don't, all right? So I've had so many students who thought that, so many parents who think this, that if we just write a great college essay and it'll make up for their low GPA and their low SAT, right? Unfortunately not, okay? If you have a very low GPA and a very low SAT score, writing a great essay is not gonna really do it. That being said, let me just explain this. I have had students, and these are sad stories. I'm not going to go into detail. I want to, protect my students' privacies and so forth. I'm not going to name any names or anything like this, but there have been many cases in the last 14 years of my teaching in which students have gone through traumatic and terrible situations in their lives. And some of these are due to just having, terrible parents, just, the parents just being terrible parents. And so kids have gone through very terrible things in their lives. And they've been honest enough and vulnerable enough to share these stories with me, especially as we've gotten into the college essay writing process. And that's where I hear a lot of these stories. And so some of them I've just been completely taken aback by. Just, wow, how could a kid go through something like that? And so my point is, there are some life stories that are absolutely compelling. There are some life stories that you read it and it's just, wow, and sometimes they will make up for, or they do explain why a student was not able to excel in school or to do well on standardized tests, because they went through terrible childhoods. They went through terrible experiences in their lives. How could a kid ever focus when their home environment is like that? And so there are some things like that. And in those cases, I do have the student write about those things. And recently I had a student like that, and he got accepted to like 8 out of 10 schools he applied to, and good for him. Wonderful. I was so happy for him. Okay. His GPA was very low. SAT scores were very low, but he really had a compelling story. It was sad, but it was real. And so sometimes you get those situations. So, but in a normal situation, and generally speaking, even if you write a great essay, that won't make up for a poor GPA and or a poor SAT score. So, you have to be, as far as academics, you have to be well-rounded. Now, I covered the well-rounded thing as far as activities are concerned in my last video, so watch that if you haven't seen that. But academically, when it comes to, SAT scores, GPA, and, and AP exams and so forth, you want to do well in all of them. So in my next video, I'm going to cover the last 3 of the top 9 misconceptions about college admissions. So hope you stay tuned and don't miss that one.